Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
I talked with Representative Darby's office this week. Brittany sent me 4 pages of introductory remarks. I can't read 4 pages. So I went above her and I went directly to Sloan. So if y'all do not know, Sloan is his youngest daughter. And so Sloan has sent me your introduction. So I appreciate Sloan doing that. According to Sloan, you were first elected in 2020. So he is finishing his 6th year in the Tennessee General Assembly. He represents Weakley, Carroll, and Henry County. Now, you all are Weakley, but portions of Henry and Carroll. He is in the produce business. He is a small business owner, so he does understand the challenges that our small business face. He is a graduate of the University of Tennessee at Martin and Greenfield High School. He is chair of the Banking and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee. He's a member of the Agricultural and Natural Resource Committee, member of the Commerce Committee, member of Fiscal Review. And most of you probably have never dealt with Fiscal Review. As someone who worked in state government, that is the committee that you did not want to go before because they ask the tough financial questions and they like meet in the summer. So you may be there for 3 or 4 hours listening. So that is a very prestigious committee to be on, and he's on the Select Committee on Rules. He resides in Greenfield with his wife, Cassie. They have 3 daughters, Tess, Edie, and Sloan, who is the youngest one. And I will tell you, if you ever need anything from him, if you call his office, he has an assistant by the name of Brittany Jones. She is good. She is very good and very responsive. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome our friend and State Representative Tandy Darby.
She did a real good job. Mr. Hurley had me there, but when I say it wasn't written in crayon, I knew that if Sloan didn't do it. What an honor it is to be back again in front of you all, and I can't say enough about the prayer. And please keep the family and law enforcement in your prayers because they're going to need it still for the next few weeks, few months. And I was able to get the flags off the Capitol, both of them, the Tennessee and the United States flag. So I'm in the process of getting everything boxed up, a nice presentation box, and HJR for the family. So please keep them in your prayers. And me being up here is kind of an oxymoron. If I don't show up for work, state still goes on. A lot of you all, if y'all don't show up for work, Carroll County feels it and West Tennessee feels it. So I do appreciate the warm welcome. But guys, it's folks like you that I call to get an honest opinion on what's going on. How can I help? And let me tell you, I appreciate it. I appreciate the calls. Just the other day, John Sanders, he called and said, hey, how are you doing? And you don't know what that means, just to hear somebody, hey, not anything going on, no rocks being thrown, just, hey, how's your well-being? And the main thing is, how's the kids, you know? And so I do appreciate that. Just like last night, we came over here to the funeral home. My wife is a financial advisor, and one of her clients, Mr. Cross, had passed away. And I don't have district lines over here in Huntington. Seen Mr. Clark, Carrie, who else did I see? And just the hospitality is so nice. So my hat's off to you all for just the hospitality, for what coming over here to Huntington and sitting down and having a meal, and the people coming up and saying something to me, saying something to my wife. That's the kind of things there that you can't put a price tag on. And I appreciate it. Just a little bit of personal before we get into things. Family's doing great. Tess graduated with her master's at Christmas. probably going to go down the same road as my wife, financial advisor. So I told her, I said, while you're still in study mode, hey, knock out that Series 7 and just go from there. So I've told her she's had 5 years to network, and she still thinks that she's networking. I said, I'm ready for you to clock in somewhere. I'm ready to get you off the payroll. Edie, we took one on the chin there. She hurt her back when she was a senior in high school, never had got over it. So the whole time we was there watching the kids play last year, I was thinking, I got one more year. I got one more year to enjoy this. And then Edie got hurt at Ohio State when we were playing up there. And we hadn't told a lot of people, but she's had 3 epidurals in the last 12 months while she was playing. No telling how many she had while she was during her 3-year stint. So we took one on the chin. I told her, I said, hey, don't matter where you're at, your health's more important. And because she's going into pre-med, she reads a lot. And she said, Dad, you do know these epidurals are not healthy. I said, I knew that when you were taking them, but I wanted you to do what you wanted to do. So she backed off her senior year. I'm hoping this time next year she's in med school and maybe come back and practice one day around here. Sloan, just like I always say, I'm in this job because I'm networking, because I'm going to try to keep her out of jail at an early age and trying to know all the people that I can meet. So everybody's doing great. And I couldn't ask for anything better. The one thing I will tell you, I'd take off my pinky right now to have another year of sports. A lot of pressure on Sloan right now. We've had her involved. She was playing against 3rd grade boys. We had her in flag football. We've already started basketball. The other day we came in and I was telling everybody about how bad everybody else, a lot of other places in the state had it with the ice storm. Sloan, first thing she said, Dad, we're out of internet. I said, that's all I needed to hear. So we went to the gym for 2 hours. And so we made the best of it, but as far as the state goes, this year, having the week off really had things bottlenecked. So it is, this past week has been one of the busiest weeks I've had up there, trying to get things back in order. And Tuesdays, if I had many Tuesdays like that, I'd have to renegotiate where I'm at because it was bad. My week still consists of Mondays. Show up to Aiken and Porter, do my day job, get my produce buying in for a couple of days, take off to Nashville, up there in Nashville Monday afternoon through Thursday morning. We finish up with the session on the floor Thursday morning. And all those mornings, I'm an early riser, get my produce buying early, get my workout in, and then ready to clock in. So everything's on the same path that we have been, and I can't brag enough about where we are in the state. It's just like everybody else. I wish I had a notebook full of checks that I was bringing, but Mr. Hurley said about fiscal review. Big difference here on where we were at my first year on fiscal review. This would be my 3rd year on fiscal review. The first year it was kind of a rubber stamp. Folks coming in, tell us about the contract, money was flowing good, and you didn't hear many no's. The last 2 years, the wagons have been circled. Money's not, well, let's just face it, the economy has not been in the position where people can freely go out and do what they want to do. There's had to been some tightening of the budgets, same way in the state level. There's been lots of no's, lots of reevaluations. Let's look for a cheaper alternative. So we're feeling it too about the crunch. But I do think that things are headed in the right direction. I wish it would happen sooner, not later. But I think the long haul, I think there's good days ahead. I really do. I brought a few things here just to kind of tell you where we were at. As far as my legislation, the past 3 years we've pushed property tax, and it'll be on the ballot. It'll be on the ballot this coming year. It'll be there in November to take state property tax out of the Tennessee Constitution. We hadn't had a property tax since, I think, 38, and that got reintroduced with sales tax, but it's still in the state constitution. So if the administration change, you get the reins need to be tightened up even more, the state could revert back to not only you all paying a city property tax, a county property tax, the state could implement a property tax too. So there's something there with the crystal ball said if we take this out, hey, we'll just have to keep our belt a little bit tighter, and citizens, they don't become a slush fund. So please vote yes. The governor is the state chair. Speaker Sexton is the East Tennessee chair. Senator Hale is the Middle Tennessee chair, and I'm the West Tennessee chair. Senator Hale ran it on the Senate side, and I ran the bill on the House side. So find it, hey, do your research, but I think that it's a very positive thing to take this out of the Constitution because, let's face it, we're taxed enough. So please vote yes on number 2 in the upcoming election. But other than that, that's been my push for the last 3 years. This year I've got a lot of local bills. Henry County, Weakley County. Is there one for Carroll? I don't think y'all did everything right. We're having to clean up some language in the other 2, but they shouldn't be big issue bills, but it's going to help our area. And I've introduced House Bill 2627, which is a local bill, clarifies the county highway superintendent may continue serving in office based on state established qualifications. I've also introduced Bill 1799, supporting updates to reporting requirements of the Comptroller's Office. And on our state budget, and I went ahead and wrote some things down if you see me looking down, because I know I like to ramble, and this right here keeps me honed in here. Tennessee's in strong fiscal position, disciplined and responsible budgeting, conservative financial management. That stability gives us the ability to invest where it matters most while keeping taxes low. Property tax protections. I told you about the constitutional amendment. There's other state, Tennessee has no state income tax and remains one of the lowest tax states in the nation. These approaches are built around predictability, transparency, voter accountability, and give taxpayers a direct voice when major increases are proposed. The goal is not to undermine local governments. The goal is to protect homeowners from surprise spikes, keep tax growth tied to economic reality. Big thing that's coming on, and it's a big push for our side of the aisle, is immigration. The Speaker's got 10 bills here that he's wanting to get through, and just to touch on them, but I want to give you some stats first, and just think, I'm going to go real slow here and think about what I'm saying. No doubt this country was built on immigration, and I'm all for doing it the right way. But this having unvetted at the border, you're not a nation if you don't have a border. So I'm going to throw these out here, and I'm going to go real slow because this right here is eye-opening. If I say anything else, take in what I'm telling you here. More than 21,000 criminal charges involving individuals confirmed to be unlawfully present. Those crimes would not have been committed if you didn't have the illegals. 41 homicides, over 2,100 violent crimes, nearly 1,600 assaults, 145 sexual offenses, 11 child rapes, nearly 3,000 DUIs, and 5,300 of driving without a license. 21,000 criminal charges. That hits home. I got 3 daughters. 2 of them are driving. Tess is on her way back to UT today. She had to come back and speak at UTM Wednesday. So she came home for a few days. Anything can happen. But when you got folks that are not supposed to be here, didn't come in the right way, that hits home. And 21,000. So I'm going to leave that there. House leadership has introduced a multi-bill legislative package aimed at strengthening cooperation, enforcement tools, and public safety protections. And the goal is to keep it that way. Let's see here. The other thing here, I know this is going to come up. We've seen major increases back to property tax. We've had some municipalities in the last 2 years, you've seen property tax increase to 52%, 30%, 54%, another 52%. In Mount Juliet, a proposed whopping 400,000 or 400% tax increase. We've got lots of bills coming through. I haven't heard the bills yet. They hadn't come through any of the committees that I'm on, but we're wanting to cap it. And with that said, there's a couple of bills floating through that's wanting to knock out property tax completely. And with that said, if that gains momentum, you could see that property tax is taken out as a whole, the city and the county. Now, I can tell Mr. Hurley's getting squirrely up here. Where's that money going to come from? Because in the same breath, you got to figure, and everybody here, if I have a show of hands, how many has a pothole on the road that they live on? Everybody's hand's going to go up. It's a fine balance. And not myself, but I deal with a lot of smart people. And looking at every angle here where we can increase our infrastructure, where it's compatible with where you're trying to get, and to take property tax out of the equation. And it's a fine line. But like I said, not myself, but I talk to folks. Lots of things are being thrown against the wall to see what is the best avenue. And I feel confident that this year we're going to come up with something there that's going to accommodate everybody to the best of our extent. But money still got to have, we still got to have roads. And it's just it's a trade-off somewhere. Let's see here. A couple of those bills. Jason Zachary is capping annual growth of inflation plus 2% annually, or inflation plus 6% over 3 years, requiring voter referendum approval for exceeding those thresholds. Bud Halsey's got a bill, 2607, caps property tax increases at no more than 2% per year. Local governments could exceed the 2% cap for up to 4 years only if a referendum is held and at least 60% of voters approve of the proposed increase. Let's see here. And a couple of things here that's happened this week, just to give, hey, that's what I'm here for, is to give an update. Let's see here. Well, this was a sad deal. There was a lady in Knoxville here a few years ago that online, and a gentleman out of Ohio had coerced her into committing suicide. So there is no, I think he got 2 years for that because there is no statute for that. So they introduced a bill here that puts a maximum sentence on something like that and coerced suicide. So that was one of the things there that we, it's things that you don't think of. It's things that pop up here and you hear it happening to other people across the state. Wow, that could happen. So it is. It's a committee's session. It's moving targets. It's things there that you don't think about, and it's things that have repercussions that I wouldn't have thought about if I wasn't sitting up there. And it's, if you ever got a question, man, this right here, this ought to be black and white. This ought to be, this, if it says what it says it does, but most of y'all in business, most of y'all in the school system, watch my right hand. What does the left do? What's the repercussions? What fingers goes out and what does it touch here that you don't see it on the front side by just reading what the bill does? If y'all got any questions, and like I said, I'm not the authority. I don't want my name in lights. I'm not looking for what else could I do, but I do know a few people that are experts. And we will find out answers one way or the other to answer your questions. So don't hesitate, but just don't jump to a conclusion. I can't believe that this is being done. So please reach out. Our office is open, and let me tell you, like Mr. Hurley said, Brittany Jones, she is an absolute rock star. Our office is covered up by other LAs and other interns. Hey, Brittany, I got a question. Brittany, I got a question. Well, it sounds like me. Hey, Brittany, I got a question. If she said, I'm leaving tomorrow, I might be right behind her because I depend on her that much. And the people that's been in the office, they know. I mean, Brittany is a rock star. So, hey, if you got anything bad that you need to say to me, please don't say it to Brittany. Hey, she's an innocent bystander. I got wide shoulders here. I can take it. Just be nice to Brittany, please. Let's see here. We talked about the property tax. Brother Hale. He's about 3 doors down from me. GOP bill would allow 10 commandments in schools. And yes, there was discussion. There was people against it. Let's see here. Something here, the stuff that might be able to relate to you all. A lot of gender confusing questions. And this right here is a bill that's going through. Horror stories that we hear. Horror stories. I've already talked about yes on 2. The winter storm aid. Y'all were about like we were. I don't think there was a lot of outages. And I've had all the local municipalities, they've all called and reached out. The horror stories that we've heard about NES. And I can't imagine keeping the lights on for that many people. If you got questions, let me know. Everything's not what there was a loud bark. Kind of our municipalities were a little bit perturbed about how bad this could be for our area. I said, let me tell you, what y'all are doing in the off season, taking down trees. Nobody's going to say, hey, you guys, y'all are not doing proactive. Nashville, I don't think you could not cut down trees, trim trees that were touching power lines. You got to be proactive. You got to be proactive because nobody's going to get ahead of Mother Nature. And when she does strike, it's with a vengeance. So, nobody's really picking on NES, but when you have 140 DEI meetings and 6 meetings about how do we deal with a natural disaster, priorities are not in the right place. So our municipalities, I can't say enough good things. They've done a great job here. And when we don't have electricity, I promise you they're doing everything that they can do. I talk to them regularly. So when it does happen, it's not if, when it does, cut them a little slack. Just cut them just a little bit of slack. And our people there that are taking care of the roads. And biggest amount of phone calls I get are roads. And I'm on the phone with TDOT once a week. I said, all I need is ammo. All I'm doing is passing on what I'm hearing. And it's a concern across the state, and there's lots of people there that are in the same boat that we are. Let's see, y'all are getting me to ramble here. I've got to stay focused. Let's see here. When Brock, and let me tell you, Brock Martin, y'all are lucky, the folks that have him. What a rock star up there. Well respected, come in, guns blazing, and everybody knew that we got somebody here I'm proud to say that he touches my district because I can talk to Brock and anything that I need, he's on board, and I hope that he says the same thing about me. I think we make a great team. John Stevens, for him to be where he sits, they stroke lots of checks, and he's in a position there to help West Tennessee. And if something happened to John, we've lost an advocate for being able to get things here in West Tennessee. If anybody's got any questions, Hurley said that he's going to field every question I get. Just come on. And but has anybody got any questions?
Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Finley, does your group, do they have a question? I know they've been writing and researching and talking.
Good morning, I'm Finley, and I'm a sophomore from Hart Brixton. And my question is, what made you kind of interested, or what made you want to become a state representative?
Well, thank you for the question. And the people that I've heard this before, they'll probably get tired of hearing it. But it's special to me. I don't believe in coincidences. I think this gentleman was placed in front of me at the right time of my life. Before Tennessee came knocking, this would have been in August of 2019. The first school that offered my kids, and they did, Edie was a sophomore, and Tess was going into her senior year in August. So Texas Tech called, and I told my kids, I said, listen, not many times that the red carpet gets rolled out for a small town kid. I said, take every visit that you can get, and if we need to take more, I'll pay for them. This is something that don't happen every day. But Texas Tech, they called, said, we'll take both of them. Just come on, we want you to visit the campus. Lubbock is a tough place to get to, so we had about a 2-hour layover in Dallas. They sent a representative to the Dallas airport. You could tell right away this gentleman was educated, very influential, told me he made his money in the oil business. He was retired, and this is what he does, graduate of Texas Tech. So he showed us some places there at the airport that maybe not everybody got to see. And then we sat down and he bought us lunch. And he tried to convince the kids on why they needed to be Red Raiders. And then he got to the parents. And we talked politics, religion. And he says that, hey, listen, you can't tell Texas Tech that we talked about politics or religion or they'll never ask me to come back. I said, your secret's safe with me. He didn't say about Carroll County that I couldn't tell them. So we talked, and then he said, I got to ask you. He said, man, are you involved in politics? I've never been involved in city politics, county politics. I've been raising 4 girls, counting my wife, and working 7 days a week. Produce business that don't quit growing on holidays and it don't quit growing on the weekend. I was ready for him to come back with a punchline. You know, give me a funny on why I didn't need to be in politics. It was just the opposite. He said, son, you've been blessed. When do you plan on giving back? That hit hard. And I have. I've been blessed beyond measure. And I told my wife, I said, we'll get on the airplane. I said, I don't know what will ever come from that. But I said, that was the right time, the right time in my life that I needed to hear it. Everything's not about work, trying to make a dollar, trying to improve. It's a little bit about giving back. And what West Tennessee has done for me, I can't put a price tag on. So to answer your question, never said anything to anybody for 6 months. On my way to work, 6 o'clock in the morning, I hear that our Andy Hope, our previous representative, was retiring. I said, wow, that's going to be a pretty cool gig there. Get to work. My brother says, Tandy, you ever thought about that? I said, Rusty. I said, you know how I feel about getting up and speaking. I've never been, I said, you got to have somebody there that's got some politics, had it in their background, their pedigree. I didn't. And after that, my phone started ringing. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. And besides faith and family, it's been one of the greatest opportunities I've ever had. But thank you for the question. Yep. Any more? Please. Like I said, I'll call a friend if I have
I'll
to.
throw one at you.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're a lot alike. We wear two hats. We represent people that puts us up there, and then we've got a business that we've got to run, and that's the government. Well, I want to speak to one of the people that we represent. Tax relief for disabled veterans and low-income folks. That money is running out. I understand that there's going to be a one-time money, $10 million to be put in for the budget that they're looking at. We need to be sure that we fund tax relief because that helps the disabled people, the low-income people. Property taxes has become a burden. Now, we have to fund government, and there's got to be a way to fund government. And you're removing another way to fund it. This bill that Senator Watson has, the 4% increase in sales tax to do away with the property tax. I'll just remind you that Representative Copeland, David Copeland from Chattanooga, tried that in the 80s. It's not a good idea. The property tax is one of the most stable of all. The value of property is there. How many times do we see our property, our value go down? You don't see it. But you do see cycles in the sales tax. People having more money to spend. If you do anything with the sales tax to help these people we represent, take the sales tax off of food. That is the most regressive tax that we can have. People have got to eat. So if you want to help people, take the sales tax off of food. Keep the property tax in place. It's just too stable. And doing away with the state property tax, that's no big deal. But local government depends on it. That's how we do the job that we have got to do. The sales tax, it can fluctuate, but Senator Watson's bill, I'm glad to see he doesn't have a House sponsor so far.
Yeah.
And I sure hope you don't join it.
Yeah. We'll see. I haven't seen it. I do know about it and want to take the sales tax up. I think it's around 14% and doing away with the property tax. That's one of the things that's been thrown against the wall.
But having worked with the comptroller's office, I understand what they do for you. I know the importance of what, you've got somebody good in there that's giving you real good guidance. And we need to find money to fund this tax relief for our veterans that have served our country. They need help, and we should find a way to help them.
And you're saying by taking away their property tax?
They won't take it out. There's one bill that's going to move the limits up from $175,000 to $200,000. That's going to help them. The veterans draw about 70%, but they only make up about 30% of the category, and you can flip it. So it's just something that's been near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad to have a conversation with you at any time on property taxes. I've got an opinion for you.
Yeah. But if I'm reading you right, you don't want to take it away from everybody.
No,
just
I
the
want to make
veterans.
sure that we take care of this tax relief program that we've got in place right now. We found a way that we hurt our people. These 5-year reappraisal cycles, that ratio that comes down, it takes money away from those people right there when we wait 5 years to do a reappraisal. It needs to be done every 2 years if we want to do it right. And you need to help the assessor's office find ways to do their job better.
Gotcha. Thank you. Any more questions?
Representative Darby, also
Yes, sir.
Commissioner on the property tax. I would support voting yes on 2, but I would request that you vote no against the property tax cap. Because if we would have had that in place last year, the city of McKenzie would have been shut down. We were already $800,000 upside down before we cut, and if that 6% max would have been in place, we would have had to close parks, streets, and another department just to balance our budget. And so for me, instead of hurting our municipalities again in honor of my predecessor, Mayor Holland, why don't you give the shared sales tax back so that we can actually do things for the municipalities instead of hurting us by taking money back from us?
And that, it comes up every year. And I think that we've talked there, you know where I stand on that, fought for it every year. It seems like that we can't get it across the finish line.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
School voucher expansion.
I knew it. I knew it. I can always count on Penn. I can always count on Penny. What about it, Penn?
Well, where are you at? So you've got 3 rural counties. We know you've had this battle before. The governor's pushing on his way out for $300 million, which probably doesn't have a great effect on the counties that you serve. But where do you think that stands?
If the vote was held today, I don't think that it would pass. I really don't. But I had a lot of people tell me that they was gonna vote no on it last time. And, you know, that something, we don't know. Don't know what happened.
Do you
But
know how many in your district might be taking advantage?
Yeah, I've talked to every one of my directors.
Yeah, but
to
how
find
many
out.
students that we might have? 0?
0. One might have slipped through the cracks, and tell me if I'm wrong, but when I called, I talked to Henry County, I talked to Carroll County, and talked to Weakley County. We didn't lose one student to a voucher to a private school. But everybody in this room paid the taxes on it. And unless you got a place to hide me out, that was what I ran on. Well, I don't see the benefit. You can't run 2 platforms. And it's what I ran on. It's what I don't care what's promised, what's taken away. Coming back to West Tennessee and looking folks in the eye and saying, I did what I said I was gonna do. And that means more to me. I'd sure hate to have my mama get after me about me lying to people back home. And, but no, I appreciate the question, and I stand firm that I won't be voting for it. And I don't see a pathway. I just don't. Thank you.
If I can just speak to that, Representative Darby, I think I can speak on behalf of this Carroll County District. We thank you for that. You heard from us, you listened to us. You know, I reached out to several friends, even, you know, Middle Tennessee folks, and some listened, some didn't. But anyway, just thank you for that. And I think to the question, we would appreciate a continued support of not increasing the voucher program. It continues to not make sense when, you know, the dollar amounts are talked about to go to a small number of voucher students that do not impact, like I said, any of our counties locally, and, you know, almost an equal amount going to traditional public ed that supports almost 1 million students. So the balance is not there. So again, we appreciate you continuing, as you said, to talk to us and listen to us and support us. So,
Yes, sir. And, you know, after the school year started, I talked to every one of y'all and said, how many did we lose? What's the impact? But none that I know of, none that they knew of. So, you know, it's just the.
Darby, can I add to this?
Yes, sir.
Again, thank you. Thank you for all that you do for us. This strikes a nerve with all of us leading the districts. I think what's hard to see, and I wish people would understand, that 300,000 that he just, or 300 million, I'm sorry, that's taken away from what could be put into our public schools. So it's not that we're so against, or I am so against a voucher, but we're against losing that money. That could add to all of our schools, all of public education. So if the money is there, why is it not pushed to us? And that's my problem with it, and I agree wholeheartedly with the other Carroll County districts on this. But again, thank you.
Yeah. And hey, thank y'all for what you do. And if you want to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, not apples to oranges, like a lot of the comparisons are, I'll put our public schools up against anybody in the state. And that's Williamson County. As long as you put the ratio of funding in, let's go toe to toe. So thank you all for what y'all do, because it's easy to represent when I got people like you all that value education and put your kids first. So thank y'all. Yes, ma'am.
I know we're getting close, but there's a local bill that's being done, and I don't know exactly how everything works, but it's the Chance Carlton bill that is trying to make linemen first responders, or get the benefits of first responders. So I just wanted to say that I 100% support that, and I hope that you'll support that however that plays out. But it's obviously very near and dear to our heart here in Carroll.
What a small world. Probably about 6 months before Chance was killed, he came to our farm. I purchased 2 dogs from him. I don't believe in coincidences. Brock told me that morning what had happened. And I said, this cannot be the same guy that came to my farm, stayed out there for 3 or 4 hours. What a great guy. And I did not, just to tell you how fast things move up there, this is in my back door. Met the guy. The bill had been put on notice. I never knew about it. Got to work. Not that I'm not a Facebooker. There's a lot more to life than Facebook. Hey, whoever enjoys it, thank y'all. But somebody told me, said, Tandy, that guy that you got the dogs from, they're running a bill in his honor and trying to make linemen first responders, which they are. That's an understatement. And as soon as I got to work Monday afternoon, Brock, you got to, Tandy, Representative Powers had it, and he says, I think that he took it over, signed on it that afternoon. So whoever saw it and seen that my name wasn't on it, that's it, is drinking out of a fire hose up there, and I did not see it. But I am on it now, and will push that every chance that I get. But thank you.
One last question.
Uh-oh.
Does anybody have it? If not, we'll thank you for coming. Please join me in thanking Representative Darby.
This program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.
It's all about home.